Hey, what's up, my friends? Thanks for stopping to get at Ask a Guitar Pro. This is Jake. Wanting to talk to you a little bit about the modes. Last time you were here, we did a segment on the natural scale, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the modes and how they relate to the natural scale. So first of all, quick review of the natural scale. We're going to start in the key of C today. So we're on C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Back to C there. So that's the C natural scale. Now there are basically 7 modes out there named after, basically have Greek names on them, nothing special about them. But the first mode that's created is actually called the Ionian mode, and the Ionian mode is actually the same as the C natural scale. Okay, so Ionian is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So what's very interesting about the modes is sometimes people make them more complicated than what they really are, because I don't think they're often explained very clearly. But the next mode in line, again, there's 7 modes, and basically each 7 modes is named for the degree that you're on in the natural scale. Okay, so the first one, the C note, is Ionian. The second note in the natural scale is D. This would be called a D Dorian mode. Okay, so if we start on D, we go. Notice those are all the same notes in the natural scale. Nothing's different. We're just starting on a different note, okay? So, starting on the second. So on and so forth. You can imagine when you go to the third note, C, D, E. E actually has its own mode too. It's called the E Phrygian mode, okay? So you can start to see that there's a recurring theme here, but the takeaway here is that each of these different scale degrees, or starting a different note on the natural scale, yields a different mode. So starting on the first note is always Ionian, second is Dorian, third is Phrygian, fourth is Lydian, fifth is Mixolydian, sixth is Aeolian, or sometimes called the minor mode, and then seventh is Locrian. So anyways, if somebody's playing, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, is if somebody's playing a C Ionian scale and a D Dorian, they're all the same notes. They're not any different. So if you're playing a key of music that a C Ionian scale works in, so does a D Dorian, so does an E Phrygian, so does an F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, and B Locrian. So all those notes are exactly the same notes. There's nothing complicated about it. But really where musicians start to get creative in their use of the modes is when they pick a mode that's actually in another key and apply it to a chord they're playing. For example, when we're playing a C chord, a C major, you could just play all the modes through. For example, I play a C Ionian over the top of it. Or I could play a D Dorian. Where things get, like I mentioned, interesting here is, what if we played a C Mixolydian mode over the top of this C chord? It's going to add just a little bit of flavor here by changing a few of the notes, okay? So here's a C chord with an Ionian played over the top, a C Ionian played over it. Now let's play a C chord with a C Mixolydian mode over the top. So you'd has a little bit of a flavor, a slight variation there creates some interesting things. So again, the human ear, if you hear most of the notes are right and they match the chord that's being played, if you have little divergences here and there, they certainly add flavor. And again, when we're playing a C chord, we're only playing 3 notes, a major triad there, so there's basically 10 other notes to pick from in music that you could go with there. So to limit yourself just to the natural scale, you don't have to do that. You can certainly branch out and look at some different things there. So, but anyways, another example here, you could also do the same thing with the Lydian mode. You could play a C Lydian over the top of it, C Mixolydian. Just gets really interesting there. So again, an example here, playing a C Mixolydian over the top of a C major chord. Actually threw a little bit of C Ionian note in there that wasn't supposed to be in there, but anyways, you get the idea. So the big takeaway here is the modes, if you're just sticking to the natural scale, you're always going to have the first note is going to be the Ionian mode, the second note is going to be the Dorian mode, third is the Phrygian, fourth is the Lydian, fifth is the Mixolydian, sixth is the Aeolian, seventh is Locrian, and then you're back to the Ionian there. So nothing overly complicated about modes. It's the substitution when you start picking modes that are named differently than what are in the natural scale. For example, one last time here, a C chord, but instead of playing a G Mixolydian, C, D, E, F, G, instead of playing a G Mixolydian, we're going to play a C Mixolydian. So hopefully that explains that a little more clearly than a lot of books define it. So again, thanks for stopping at Ask Guitar Pro, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Take care.